Welcome back, folks. Today we have a solid fuel meta stove that sits between the Meta 50 and the Meta 42 to 75 range. It's the Meta 80. So let's waste no time and have a look. First of all, this came with the original box, aimed at the Swedish market. Instructions on the side. The nice retro image showing the fuel tablets, use at home, by the lake, and camping. It's all in aluminium. The lid is stamped Meta 80 with a wire handle and the Meta brand. The lid does not have an accessory hook for the tea infuser or egg holder. Inside we have the burner and the windshield stand. The stand reminds me a little bit of the one for the Primus 71, minus pictured here. It has ventilation holes, Meta branding on the bottom with N80, and a large slot for removing the burner. An alcohol burner also fits in nicely, as with this Trangia. The pot is 1 litre, has a pouring spout, and the usual Meta handles. All items except for the burner are stamped Meta. Now the smaller Meta stoves need windshields. This one doesn't. And it's a higher capacity pot at 1 litre. The burner is in 2 parts. As you can see, this has been well used. It has ventilation holes round the top, and it's probably meant to take a few Meta tablets at once. The top is removable, and it has this handy little handle, and it just slots on. As the top is removable, you could use gel fuel quite easily with this. I wouldn't hazard a guess for the age, but the box artwork suggests before the 60s, probably the early 50s. These were produced in the 30s, as in their catalogue here. So let's load it up with solid fuel and the pot with 300 ml of water and give it a shot. And then we'll see how it does with a Trangia burner as well. Okay, so we'll use a couple of these Metas because I don't want to have to refill halfway through, because this is a bit more difficult to use with the enclosed top. I would point out that these days the solid fuel is not a cheap option. I'll just move this out of the way a little bit from the camera. Now the advantage we have with the handle is that I can light it and then slot it in. 6:27. Now, as you can see, blowing it out does not work. We do have a bit of a smell of hexamine tablet. Everything's airing at the moment, and as you saw, it was difficult to blow out on the Meta 80. On the Meta 75, 71 and 42, you can just blow out the tablets. We have another 300 mils of water. The pot has been given the chance to cool down, and we have a relatively new Trangia burner, which we'll just fill up. And we'll place that in there. And this time we'll turn off the lights and we'll wait till it blooms. That's it bloomed. This is starting to simmer. .553. Not much in it actually. Maybe 20 seconds difference between 3 Esbit tablets and a Trangia burner. Of course, bearing in mind, I don't know which is the optimum height between the burner and the pot, but it proves that this is a nice little kit if you want to use it with an alcohol. You could put in a speedster burner into this and it would work very well. Now, when I bought it, it came with a loose handle, which I just presumed fitted into one of these slots. And it does make sense for moving it around. I can't see anything on the actual box that would imply that that is there, but it works fine for me. So to sum up, the Meta 80 is one of my favourite Meta burner setups. It is small, compact, quite light, and can be used with a variety of fuels, gel, alcohol, and Meta, or rather Esbit tablets these days. Unlike the 42, 71, 70 and 75, it has good windshield that funnels the air in like a Trangia storm cooker, and it is smaller than the Meta 50. The Meta 50 would win overall because it has a frying pan, pot, and can also be used with alcohol. It's basically a forerunner for the Trangia. But this one is smaller, and it's something that you quite happily take away with you with the 1 litre pot, meaning that you can cook on it as well as just boil water. Also, the stand will quite happily take a kettle. But that's just my opinion. Tell me what you think. If you could get your hands on a Meta 80, would you take it out on your trips? It all fits perfectly in its own pot. With the codicil that I wouldn't want to have the burner open in the same pot that I'm boiling water. Hexamine is not the most food-friendly of fuels. I hope you enjoyed this little video about the Meta 80. Tune in next week for another video. If you liked this one, give it a thumbs up or maybe a hype. And think about subscribing. Just press that bell icon and the subscribe button. It really does help the channel. So until next week, everyone. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.